You have seen her before, in the corner of a basement ceiling, tucked into the angle where a garage wall meets the rafters, hanging motionless in a loose, almost careless tangle of web above a forgotten box in the attic. Long, thin legs, a small, pale body barely the size of a grain of rice, and a web that looks, frankly, like it was never finished. Uneven threads crossing in no particular pattern, nothing like the elegant geometric perfection of the spiders we're taught to admire. Most people walk past her without a second thought. Some people sweep her away with a broom, web and all, without even registering what she was. And almost no one has ever stopped to ask what that messy, careless-looking web is actually doing up there in the dark. Today, we're going inside that web, and what we find is one of the most quietly effective predators living inside the American home. A creature that doesn't just catch insects, it hunts other spiders, including some of the ones you've spent your whole life being afraid of. Let's start with what that web actually is. The cellar spider, Phocis phalangioides, commonly called the daddy longlegs spider, though it shares nothing but a nickname with the unrelated harvestman, builds what arachnologists call an irregular tangle web, and calling it messy undersells what's actually happening. The web has no clear center, no spiral, no obvious structural logic from the outside, but every thread in it is doing a job. Some strands form a loose scaffold the spider can move through freely. Others run down toward the floor or nearby surfaces as nearly invisible tripwires, under faint tension, waiting. This is not a passive net, hoping something flies into it. It is a three-dimensional sensor array. The cellar spider rests near the top of the tangle, body still, 8 long legs spread out across multiple threads simultaneously, each leg tuned to a different strand. The moment something touches one of those tripwires, an ant on the floor below, a fly brushing the lower threads, a mosquito drifting too close, the vibration travels up the silk and the spider knows. Not just that something touched the web, where, from which direction, how large, how urgently it's struggling. And then comes the part that makes this spider genuinely unusual. Most web-building spiders rush toward prey and bite first, subduing it before it can escape or fight back. The cellar spider does something stranger and far more controlled. She approaches at a careful pace and begins to wrap, flicking silk from her spinnerets with rapid, precise movements of her hind legs, throwing loose sheets of thread over the struggling prey from a distance before she ever makes contact with it. By the time she finally moves in to bite, the prey is often already half bound, its movements failing, the fight largely over before it began. It is, in a sense, the opposite of a sudden ambush. It is a slow, methodical disarmament. And this technique becomes especially important when the prey isn't a fly or an ant, when it's another spider. This is the behavior that sets the cellar spider apart from almost every other creature sharing your walls. Phocis phalangioides is what scientists call an araneophagic predator, a spider that specializes, at least in part, in eating other spiders. And not just any spiders. Research has documented cellar spiders successfully invading the webs of much larger, more dangerous species, including widow spiders, and subduing them. Think about what that actually means. A spider with thin, fragile-looking legs and a body so small you could lose it in a coin purse, walking deliberately into the territory of a venomous, heavily armed predator many times its size, and walking out as the winner. She does it through patience and vibration control. Cellar spiders are remarkably good at moving through another spider's web without triggering an alarm response, plucking the silk gently, mimicking the vibration pattern of trapped prey rather than a threat. By the time the resident spider realizes something is wrong, the cellar spider has already closed the distance and begun wrapping. The long legs that look so impractical for a fight are, in this context, the entire advantage. They let her stay at a safe radius, immobilizing her opponent in silk before ever bringing her body and her vulnerable bite within striking range. This single behavior is the reason cellar spiders carry an outsized reputation in pest control circles. In homes, garages, and basements across the country, they are one of the few natural checks on populations of far more concerning spider species. including, in regions where they overlap, the venomous widows that most homeowners genuinely do not want nesting in a dark corner. And it doesn't stop at spiders. The cellar spider's diet is broad and opportunistic. Flies, mosquitoes, moths, silverfish, ants, and other small household insects that wander into a basement, attic, or garage all end up as potential prey if they brush against that tangled web. In undisturbed corners, a single cellar spider can maintain her web for months, feeding intermittently, rebuilding sections as needed, quietly thinning the population of nuisance insects in that specific part of the house without anyone noticing the work being done. She is, in effect, running a small and continuous pest control operation. No chemicals, no traps to empty, no cost, just a strand of silk and an immense amount of patience. There's one more behavior worth understanding because it's the one most people misinterpret. If you disturb a cellar spider's web, bump it, breathe on it, point a light directly at her, she doesn't flee in a straight line the way most spiders do. She begins to vibrate, rapidly. Her entire body blurs into a shaking motion so fast that her outline becomes difficult to make out clearly against the wall. This isn't panic, it's a defense strategy. By turning herself into a fast-moving blur, she makes herself a much harder target to grab, to identify, and to track, confusing predators, including curious humans, long enough to slip away into a crack or gap. It's the same logic behind the antlion's sand flick or the trapdoor spider's ambush. Not strength, not speed in the conventional sense, but a precisely tuned trick that has worked well enough, for long enough, that there was never any pressure to replace it with something else. And that brings us to why this matters for the inside of your own home. If you find a cellar spider's web in a basement corner, behind a water heater, in the angle where a garage ceiling meets the wall, or tucked into the dark space above a shelf in an attic, you are not looking at an infestation. You are looking at a single, low-maintenance predator that has quietly claimed a small patch of your home as a hunting ground and is, in all likelihood, doing you a favor by occupying it. She is not aggressive toward people. Despite a long-running urban myth claiming the cellar spider possesses extremely potent venom that simply can't pierce human skin, this is not true. Her venom is mild, and her fangs, while capable of breaking skin in rare circumstances, pose no meaningful threat to a person. What she does pose a threat to is exactly the kind of insect, and occasionally exactly the kind of spider, that you would actually prefer not to find in your house. Removing her, knocking down the web, vacuuming her up, treating the corner with insecticide doesn't make that space cleaner. It makes it undefended. The flies, the ants, the silverfish, and in some regions, the more dangerous spiders she was quietly keeping in check, no longer have anything standing between them and that corner of your home. So the next time you find that loose, uneven web in a quiet corner of your basement or garage, and the small, pale spider hanging motionless near the top of it, take a moment before you reach for the broom. Look closely. That careless-looking tangle is a finely tuned trap, built by a creature that has made a career out of out-patienting things far more dangerous than she is. She is not the threat in that room. She may very well be the reason the actual threat never got the chance to settle in. Have you ever found a cellar spider's web in your home, or watched one take down something far bigger than herself? Tell me about it in the comments. These are the stories that make this community what it is. The next time you walk past a quiet corner of your basement, your garage, your attic, remember that the silence there is rarely empty. Something small, something patient, something that has been working that exact spot for months without asking anything of you, is very likely still up there. Let her stay.